We play.
We fight.
We conquer.
Welcome to the Freak Show, where our one rule is duck, duck, goose. I am your host, Bumpy McSquigums, and we are starting up our coverage of Process of Elimination. It is by Nippon Ichi Software and NIS America, releasing on April 11th, 2023 to the US and pretty much the rest of the world, April 14th, 2023. So like Europe, Australia, and those are the only other places that they consider different regions. I know there's more to the world than just those, but yeah, I'm just saying. That's what they threw my way. That all being said, a big shout out and a thank you to NIS America for hooking me up with the code for this. As always, they are fantastic to work with. I love working with them, and they always take care of me. They give me plenty of time to do what I got to do, and they always let us go a little bit early before the game is out. So fantastic. Thank you guys so much. I truly do appreciate it and love working with you folks. That being said, this is rated M for mature, so be aware of that going in, and let's get started, shall we? It's a rainy day in June with clouds covering the entire nation. Oh, this is the PlayStation 5 version of the game, just so you guys are aware. The live broadcast of a new gaming release is suddenly disrupted. The very nerve. Okay. Not sure what that was. Oh. It has Japanese voice acting. I will be reading over it. If that bothers you, I'm sorry. You're either going to have to put up with it or look elsewhere. I'm not being mean. I'd rather you stay and enjoy the experience with me, but I know that's going to be a turnoff for some people. I'm just going to be reading over it. Just going to have to accept it and move on, right? All right, so pardon me, but I'm conducting a quick survey. On one side, a recent grad. On the other, a total shut-in. Who do you despise more? The person who's got their life together, obviously. Thank you for your response. Now, without any further ado, this loathsome grad shall disappear before your very eyes. This individual is hereby condemned to the fate of a quartered doll. I don't know what that means. It sounds bad. Oh my. Okay. Entertainment. Hello, dear consumers, and adieu to the consumed. How did it feel, dismembering the reviled with a simple press of a button? Not good, no. Quite good, no. Nope. Downright refreshing even, huh? Nope, no, that's not, I don't. It's best to eliminate those who don't share your values. That's not true either. Majority rules, after all. Whatever bloke thought that up was truly a sadistic genius. The opposition may be trampled, but there exists no better system. The path to peace must be painted by the blood of the minority. Oh my god, this is really dark. Those behind this policy, the eminent among the many, give less thought to the few than they would an ant. I must hand it to them. It is simply ruthless. Oh, don't look at me like that. It was a joke. A joke. I wouldn't want to get canceled on social media over this. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, they're, goodness. This won't do. No. I've neglected to introduce myself. So sorry. I'm His Grace, or is it Your Grace? Let's say Your Grace. The quartering Duke, an entertainer come to bring amusement to your world. From now on, every soul in this nation will be provided with entertainment to stir the mind. So please indulge until you're full to bursting. TQD, huh? Quartering Duke. Should you object to your Grace's choice of recreation, you are invited to try and reveal his true nature. Such a show can't exist without diversity, you see. For this is a clash between tragic, savage carnage and the comical, cultural stylings of justice. Oh, we currently have about 5,000 viewers. You don't know my audience. Sorry. Then, for tonight's final act, a question from Your Grace to all our viewers at home. I don't like it. Let's skip. The individual within the animal suit became a shut-in after experiencing vicious bullying at school. No love for his mother, who raised him alone. Every day, he would hit and yell at her. That's not good. Before long, she fell ill and died without his noticing. Also bad. This individual was saved by your first impression. With that, I ask, do you still like him? Should over half the viewers say so, I'll release him. I like him. Seems not even 500 people liked him. A shame. Nothing short of a tragedy. Truly, the sorrow is too much to bear. However, the quartering Duke snaps his fingers. That is what makes this the very finest entertainment. Alas, it will soon be time to part ways. As for myself, your Duke, that is, I am the enemy of those who mindlessly consume and a friend to those consumed. Thus I take my leave. Do enjoy the show. Well, while I didn't think this was going to be happy, rainbow, magical pixie dust time, did not think it was going to be this dark. I'm not going to lie. The video cuts off after 4 minutes and 52 seconds. Yikes. This is, yeah. As a hacked broadcast, those who ran the website were powerless to stop it. The video just got shy of 5 minutes. It's shared across the net, mostly among the youth. Yeah, that sounds about right. But things don't end with that. Not just the broadcasted victims, but others killed in the same manner are soon discovered. The common thread, at least 2 victims are always found at once, with their locked screens set to the symbol of the quartering Duke. The police pour all of their resources into investigating the case, but turn up nothing. Pair by pair, more and more bodies surface, until half a year later, over 100 have been killed since that very first broadcast. The sheer number of victims and brutality of the murders fling society into chaos. The quartering Duke, an entertainer? What he's doing is basically a snuff show. I grip my phone tight as I read articles about the murders, speaking aloud despite myself. I've seen the effects of this Duke all around me. People are terrified to go outside, and stores have even shortened their hours. What's worse, he's gained some traction among young copycats, taken by his charisma. With the police overwhelmed, small private agencies like mine are in huge demand. Apparently, even the FBI is getting involved. Past events had already stoked the need for this line of work, but the Duke has only made things worse. The media jeers at the detective craze. Mr. Gunjoji says the ideal society is a peaceful one where detectives are starved for work. He may be right about that. As I lay in wait for my mark, I recall my mentor's words, sigh to myself. I work for the Gunjoji Detective Agency. It's probably one of the punier agencies around, though nowadays. We're buzzing with activity. I'm a student working part-time, but they plan to recruit me once I've graduated. The situation must be getting pretty serious nationwide. An ideal society has no use for detectives, huh? The thought alone makes me a bit miserable. Is this the reality faced by all aspiring detectives? Okay, look, that's enough of that. My worries run wild when I'm on my own. Bad habit, but I've got to focus on work. There he is, my mark is on the move. After a moment's pause, the man clad in trench coat starts off down the road again. I make sure I'm out of earshot before calling in my report, just as my mentor had instructed. Wado here. The target is on the move. He's headed right where you predicted, Mr. Gunjoji. I'll stay on the lookout for any traps as I continue tailing him. Quieting my steps, I follow the man cautiously. He's our top suspect in the serial pet killer case. Oh, that's terrible. And according to Mr. Gunjoji, he may be armed. Whatever I do, I absolutely cannot allow my presence to be detected. Can I help you? What? Suddenly, the man is right in front of me, and I reflexively take a step back. Did he notice me following him, despite the cover of darkness and my voice being out of earshot? Huh? What? Oh, no. I'm all good. I'm actually running late for cram school, so I gotta go. As I try to move past him, the man blocks my path. I doubt you'll make it in time if you keep matching my pace and stopping every time I do. Your expression gives everything away, -1 point. Not that you should be really that surprised. You would only stop on a completely empty street like this if you were tailing someone. That or checking if someone's tailing you. So the very act of pausing here was a trap. How could I make such a rookie mistake? It didn't even register with me. I have no one to blame but myself. You're a fresh face. Who are you? Certainly no detective or policeman, given your noisy, slipshod attempt at shadowing me. No detective? Blood rushes to my face. I've poured everything into becoming a detective. His words sting worse than a slap to the face. There's no way I can just let it slide. Dude, you got owned by some old dude. Come on now. Don't patronize me. I still prefer patronizing, though it's probably technically patronized. Don't patronize me. I'm Wato Hojo. Why would you? Why? Why are you saying these words? No, this is terrible. I'm Wato Hojo, assistant at the Gunjoji Detective Agency. Oh, God. We already know you've been snooping around here, that you have a knife. You're suspected of severe animal abuse. Now, come quietly. I'm turning you into the police. I'd hoped the edge of my voice would intimidate him, but the man only lets out an exasperated sigh. Actually giving out your name? -3 points. This isn't some TV show, kid. Real detectives never reveal their true identities. I bet you can't get enough of those over-the-top crime dramas, can you? As much as I hate it, he's read me like a completely open book. The moment a detective reveals himself always seems so cool on television. But he's right, sharing your identity in this line of work is far too dangerous. Something to keep in mind next time. And does the detective's assistant plan to arrest me all on his own? A grown man you fully believe to be armed? The man slides his hand into his pocket and readies his stance. He's clearly holding a weapon. This isn't the first time I've gone up against someone armed with a knife, but I still feel my hair standing on end. My heart slams frantically against my ribcage as I freeze up, willing my trembling legs to remain steady. No, I know I'm not ready for that, so instead I called for backup. I just need to buy time until my boss arrives. You think you can buy yourself time, Mr. Wannabe Detective? I will, in fact, I have to. One of the pets you killed belonged to my classmate, or to a classmate of mine. She's still terrified and traumatized as a result of your prowling about. Being a detective, it's my duty to stop you. Bringing you to justice is the only way to restore the peace in her life. I'll be damned if I let you escape. I tear off my jacket and wrap it around my left wrist to form a makeshift glove. Glove? What? Glove. A guard against his knife. It's late, guys and girls. I'm sorry. In my dominant hand, I grip a pair of handcuffs like brass knuckles. Armed as best I can, I face off with the man. The man just watches me, showing no signs of movement. Good, he's probably never seen anyone use handcuffs for self-defense before. It's only natural he'd be wary. I learned this trick from Mr. Gunjoji. What's great about it is that it never fails to catch people by surprise the first time. I need to stall this out, even if it's just for a little while. Keeping this face-off going is my top priority. The Ikusa School of Arrest Techniques, I take it. Quite the rare fighting style picked up, boy. Huh? I'm struck speechless. What are the odds he'd know this exact tactic? I fumble for an answer, but my mind goes blank. Paralyzed in the face of an enemy, -5 points. Don't expect odd techniques to phase a man of my age. It would work on your typical criminal, however. And you were quick to adapt when all odds were stacked against you. That's an exemplary quality in a detective. You get 10 points, kid. I see why the chief endorsed you. The man suddenly backs down and speaks with a smile. Wait, what? Is this another trap? Glancing my way, he continues. Sorry for the misunderstanding, but the culprit you've been looking for is the victim's neighbor. Okay. I've already handed him over to the police. No job, no comfort, no direction in life, until he became obsessed with a quartering duke and decided to follow in his footsteps. Couldn't work up the nerve to hack people apart, but animals gave him no trouble at all. Disgusting. Yeah, no kidding. Who are you exactly? Upon hearing my question, the man pulls what looks to be a tablet out of his pocket. The screen shows a familiar symbol, and the words Detective Alliance. The Detective Alliance? I can't help but yell out the name. I mean, you could not do that, but sure. The Detective Alliance, the very organization I revere more than anything else. That's right, I'm part of the Detective Alliance, the only government-recognized detective organization in the country. I'm sure an aspiring detective like yourself has heard of it. Of course, it's a mysterious coalition of 100 renowned detectives that always send the perfect batch for the job. The Alliance has solved every case it's ever had, and each of its members has an alias based on their defining traits. Looks like you know quite a bit about this mysterious coalition, detective fanboy. As I calm down, my face begins to burn bright red. I had let my excitement carry me away from on a totally nerdy rant. Still, the Detective Alliance has been the dream I've aspired to ever since I learned about it from Mr. Gunjoji. That D-pad you're holding is a hallmark of none other than the Alliance itself. You really are a detective, aren't you? Bingo! Call me Senior Detective. Been in the Alliance for eons. Though these days, I mostly scout recruits and provide support. Still, none of the younger generation can out-investigate me, especially with cases as cold as that pet killer one. As prideful as he sounds, I can tell by his expression that he's speaking purely from well-earned experience. He has an air about him that's unlike anyone I've ever met, the kind that could only come from a member of the Detective Alliance. As secretive as it is, the Detective Alliance has grown more famous by the day, thanks to the recent detective craze. Oh my god, what is happening? They're kind of terrifying? Maybe or not? I'm not sure. Even now, the news is full of stories about the cases cracked by Detective Alliance members. Apparently, these are Detective Alliance members. Then there's all the terrorist plots in the wake of the Quartering Duke's incidents that they've thwarted with almost zero leads. The whole reason I joined a detective agency was to carve a path to earning a spot alongside those detectives one day. Looked up to by detectives far and wide, the Detective Alliance is the absolute paragon for those pursuing justice. I apologize for my rudeness, Senior, I want to call him Senior now. Senior Detective, sir, shouting accusations at you when I couldn't be more clueless. Don't be. I was egging you on, after all. No need for the sir stuff either. In our field, the alias itself serves as a title of respect. Though Senior Detective amicably shrugs off my apology, his unshakable calm only makes me warier of where this is going. Then, as if noticing how on edge I look, he continues to speak. I'll cut to the chase. I'm actually here to scout you. We plan to meet at our base of operations to discuss how to handle the Quartering Duke incidences. And we want you to attend. What? I respond lamely, unable to fully grasp what he's saying. I'll say it again. We want you to join our investigation of the Quartering Duke case as a member of the Detective Alliance. What? Again. More pathetic than the last time. The sound I make is so shrill and alien, I scare even myself. I pinch my cheek to make sure this isn't just some dream. Ow, nope, not a dream. Maybe this is Mr. Gunjoji's idea of a prank. No sign of him anywhere, so probably not. Which means... This isn't a joke, right? Not at all. We've received direct orders from the government to put an end to the Quartering Duke's reign of terror. A chosen few detectives will convene at the HQ to solve this case and take down the most vile homicidal maniac of this century. My mind goes blank once again, but if this is real, then my dream is coming true, far sooner than I ever imagined. There was so much I could learn, so many accomplished detectives I could meet. Ideal detectives like the ones I aspire to be. The kind who could have prevented the tragedy that unfolded before my very eyes 10 years ago. I'm sure you have a million questions, but I want to hear what you intend first. Will you join us at the table and help stop the Quartering Duke? Give me your answer, yes or no. How can I hesitate? I state my intentions loud and clear. Yes or yes? The options are truly limitless. I think I'm going to go with yes. I'm going to go with yes. The moment I try to answer, Senior Detective's arm hooks around my neck and begins to squeeze like a vice. It's so tight I can't breathe. I flail and kick frantically, but all I hit is air. All I hit is the air and the ground below my feet. I feel a prick as a slender needle pierces the skin of my neck. Oh no. What feels like liquid ice begins to pump through my veins. My skin turns pale. My limbs go numb. And my strength fades. My vision blurs, and as my legs start to give out, I sag against the man restraining me. Then, as if the stars have been swept from the night sky, everything goes black. While it's true that I asked, there was never actually the option to refuse. For you see, you have a duty to attend. The Detective Elimination Project. Well, this is horrifying. Everything about this is scary. I haven't felt this way in a long time. My consciousness drags sluggishly as if I'm trapped in thick mud, helplessly sinking deeper and deeper. As much as I try to shut it out, that traumatic nightmare pulls me in once again. My dream. I'm running down a dark, frigid corridor, holding on tight to the hand of a girl my age. Watto, I can't run anymore. You need to go on without me. You have to escape. Well, what are you saying, Saika? Saika? Yeah. Sure. We'll pretend that I said that correctly. I do tend to mispronounce everything, so it's fine. We're getting out of here together. I made a promise, didn't I? But my legs... The girl is beautiful with bewitching black hair, pure white skin, and light purple eyes reminiscent of hydrangeas. I think that's right. I remember nothing else about her, but I'm sure that at the time, she was very precious to me. And then... Oh no. Right before my eyes, a blade swings down and slashes her, covering her in a burst of red. Saika, why? I clutch onto her before she can collapse and face the criminal that did this to her. What is that? The massive, unmistakably inhuman silhouette emits a strange mechanical whir. Its murderous intent is nearly enough to pierce through my flesh as it focuses on me. I prepare to die as no more than a child. But, at that moment... The girl in my arms strains to get the words out as her voice begins to fail. I might escape if I leave her now and run. But maybe I can still save her. There's no way I can just abandon her. You have to live. Become the hero who will save everyone. No. And then over the top, no. On top of that, that's all I can remember. My memory cuts out completely, as if the next page has been torn out. However, since I'm alive, it's obvious what came after. I traded Saika's life to save my own. This was the mass kidnapping and confinement incident I was in a decade ago. The reason I became a detective. A shadowy organization took 16 children and locked them in an underground prison for a month, never to be caught. Am I supposed to just live with the sacrifices that came out of that, like Saika? I was too incompetent to save even one girl, but I refuse to leave it there. My heart and soul demand I see it through. I will become a great detective, a hero, and one day I'll reveal the truth behind what happened 10 years ago. Maybe. Or maybe I won't do that. Day 1, afternoon. Ugh. I finally come to. My eyelids are so heavy, just opening them is an undertaking. That was one long dream. It was one I'd had countless times before. That fateful day I swore I'd become a detective. That incident remains unsolved to this day. What really happened all those years ago? As a survivor, the vague testimony I provided did not help much. The case has gone cold for 10 years now. I've got to find the truth, to track down the villain who killed Saika, the girl I owe my life to. That's why I entered this line of work. But that aside, my whole body is aching right now. My mattress feels like a rock. It smells like rust. I managed to pry my eyes open, but everything's pitch black. What's more, I can't even move. My limbs are restrained like I've been wrapped in some kind of sleeping bag. Don't tell me I'm trapped in here. Whoa, what's going on? Mustering all my strength, I try to worm my way out. Suddenly, my vision is flooded by a bright light. Oh, God. Whatever restrained me slackens as my own momentum forces me upright. The sight I'm met with is not what we were expecting. A forest? And that sound, are those ocean waves? Then why were we just smelling rust? Lush woodland lies before my eyes. Beneath me is an old rusty locker. Guess that's what I'd been stuffed in just a second ago. Ouch. My whole body's killing me. How long was I crammed inside this thing? Who would do this to me and why? When did I even get here? What the heck is going on? My head swirls in confusion as I try to recall what happened last. That's right. I met that old man, senior detective, and then... The haziness clears as I begin to remember. I was suddenly attacked by senior detective and eventually lost consciousness. He claimed to be a part of the detective alliance. Maybe that was just a bluff. Wait, if he was lying about being part of the DA, that means the pet killer is still at large. I've got to get back ASAP. I reached to grab my smartphone, but after a frantic search, I realized that my front pockets have been emptied. As I continue searching my person, I notice an unfamiliar weight in my back pocket. That's weird. I don't normally keep stuff back there. Suspicious, I carefully pluck the foreign object from my pocket. It's a tablet device, like an oversized smartphone, more or less. The moment I see it, though, a chill runs down my spine. No way. Is this? I lift it up, touching the buttons out of habit, then a notification appears. Authentication successful. Good morning, Owato Hojo. Seems you got your D-pad working, Sure, you were drugged, but sakes alive, boy. How cold for 3 days straight? -1 point. As the tablet comes to life, a familiar voice emanates from its speaker. This is Senior Detective, the agent who brought you here. We met 3 days ago, though to you, I suppose it feel like it only just happened. Wait, I was out for 3 days? So Senior Detective's the one reaching out to me. I knew I recognized his voice from before. Still, his tone is pretty nonchalant for a kidnapper. I can't help but feel irritated. While I'm certain you think I've deceived you, you are, in fact, the newest member of the Detective Alliance. If you doubt me, view the detective roster on your D-pad. That electronic device you know as a trademark of the Alliance. As an official member of the Alliance, your personal information should already be recorded in the database. I open up the tablet and look through the roster he mentioned. There I find my profile beginning with my full legal name. Wata Hojo, Detective Rank number 100. Yep, that's me. It even lists details only Mr. Gunjoji would know, like my skills and work experience. Ouch. My special skill is housework? Look, I'm no great detective, sure, but that's a low blow. I wonder what else is on here. It lists other detective ranks. Ooh, keywords are unlocked. And aliases too? Not to mention intel investigation statuses on recent atrocities. From the latest incidents all the way back to before I was born, it's a robust selection of key documents about cases infamous to the public. Far too much for one person to read, frankly. Even at a glance, most of the content seems to be highly technical in nature. This is way too much effort for a prank, meaning the DA really did recruit me. Can I trust what Senior Detective says? So I've actually been recruited by the Detective Alliance. This isn't a joke, right, Senior Detective, sir? You're listening to a recording at present. An emergency came up, so I've hidden you in the woods while I go to address it. Ah, so that's how it is. I assume this was a phone call, but I guess that's not the case. The device settings must have been configured to play this voice message as soon as it finished authenticating. When you're ready, open the map on your D-pad, and then make your way through the woods and head for the manor at the peak. Once there, you should soon meet others. I promise to head over myself once I'm able. So just wait for me in front of the manor. Oh, and one last thing. Do not, under any circumstances, enter the structure you'll see along the way. Unauthorized entry will result in far worse than a subtraction of points. Follow my orders like your very life depends on it. Senior Detective speaks without pause. The moment he's finished, the sound cuts out abruptly. I stand there in a daze, holding the tablet, my new D-pad, in one hand. I lift my head and peer through the tree line, making out the shape of a mountain with an imposing manor resting on its summit. Is that the building Senior Detective was referring to? While I do not fully trust him, my options are limited. Press for choice, I open the map application on my tablet. Morgue. Various graphics appear on screen displaying the surrounding area. All that blue surrounding everything must be the ocean, which means I've been taken to a remote island. Morgue. Is that the name of this place? Never heard of it. Or Morgue. Could it be in a foreign country or something? I like Morgue better than morgue. I think we're going to maybe just call it Morgue because it's silly and silly and silly. This game is not real silly. A little silly, but it's not that silly. It's pretty dark and gruesome and terrifying, right? Either way, getting all gloomy won't solve things. I use my fingers to zoom in on the map, hoping to find more info to go off of. Gormengast Lab. The screen then displays my current location and a few details about the vicinity. Just as Senior Detective said, there seems to be some sort of manor atop the peak, plus another structure near the tree line. Without any other clues to guide me, I decide to follow Senior Detective's instructions for now. Oh, I need to register my detective alias on here, but I don't really have any talents. And I definitely regret putting something random. Nope, I've got nothing. The tablet hums quietly as I trek on. Before long, I see a parting in the trees. A massive heliport stretches before me. Its right sits a relatively small 3-story building. Now, though it blocks my line of sight, I assume that the manor is just up ahead at the top of the hill. The structure here must be the one that the senior detective warned me against entering. It's not like I really trust the guy, so I'm admittedly a bit curious to sneak a peek inside. But as soon as the thought crosses my mind, a sudden sense of unease washes over me. On my tablet's map, I see numerous circular icons displayed within the building's walls. And not just a handful either. Dozens of icons crowd around like ants swarming over food. Judging by my own marker on the map, I think these icons are all people? But if that's the case, what does this mean? My apprehension refuses to die down. I get the sense that going in there would only end in regret, just as senior detective had warned. I need to decide my next step carefully. I will. Ignore it and head to the manor or enter the building. Yeah, we're gonna go. I decided to do what senior detective suggested, make my way toward the manor at the peak of the mountain. My mentor always chided me for being so rash. Maybe I wouldn't have been abducted if I had just waited for him like I was supposed to. What's more, I get this deep feeling of dread whenever I look at that building to the right of the heliport. I should follow senior detective's advice, especially considering that he must have a way better grasp of the situation than I do. What is this place really? This island? I make my way up the mountain, quietly grumbling to myself, when suddenly, oh my god, a chill runs down my spine. I quickly turn to look behind me. The only thing in sight is that building. I get the strange feeling that going there would have had irrevocable consequences for me. My uneasiness lingers, but I turn my back and keep going in spite of it. Yeah, this is a lot. I continue up the twisting mountain path for about 15 minutes until, at last, I arrive at the manor door. It was a gentle incline, but I'm still spent, wearily taking a seat, resting my back against the outside wall of the manor. It's the exact kind of setting you'd expect in any mystery novel. The manor's exterior speaks to its age and smells faintly of lumber. During my approach, I could only gasp at the structure's imposing beauty. Or grasp at it. We could have, reached for it. Upon closer inspection, I notice its windows are constructed from an unnaturally thick glass impossible to break or to peek through. I stand up and circle the perimeter, but there doesn't appear to be any points of entry aside from the front door. If anything, it seems like it was built to house prisoners, not residents. This definitely isn't your average manor. What on earth could be awaiting within? I slow down and catch my breath. My hand is damp with sweat as I turn the knob on the manor's only entrance. A loud clank rings out as the door swings open with ease. The interior seems normal enough. Aren't we supposed to wait outside? Am I just overthinking things? I ask weakly as I take a step inside. As soon as I let go of the knob, the door closes on its own. Now, 1 moment later... Huh? A sharp pain suddenly erupts in my head, causing me to stagger involuntarily. A shadow at my feet expands rapidly. My spine tingles as I feel something rush quickly toward me. Without even a moment of hesitation, I kick out and leap to the side. However... something slams hard against the back of my skull. The impact sends me flying. My vision swims. My mind already fading. I find myself unable to stand. Then, the world fades to white. Why would it fade to white? Why wouldn't it fade to black? Thank you. Yo, guys, this chump ain't waking up. How about I kick him around a bit? Just don't be so violent, Rowdy. I hear voices nearby. I totes side with Doleful here. Violence is so not cool. Why don't we just, dump a bucket of water on him instead? That idea is just as extreme. Downtown, let's try and consider our options rationally. Mayhaps his vital organs are unresponsive. I shall administer a cardiac massage at once. No need for that. I think he's waking up. What is happening? I open my eyes, but my vision is blurred. The dizzying pain in my head is unbearable. There's a constant ringing in my ears, and my body won't move an inch. A wave of nausea comes over me, but I manage to stop myself from groaning. What happened? I vaguely recall being hit by something the moment I stepped into the manor. At last, my vision finally clears up. Who are you people? When my eyes refocus, I'm met with several unfamiliar faces and a sturdy rope binding me. I'm tied up, surrounded by a group of strangers. What in the world is going on? That was awful. You lousy intruder. A girl in a sports jacket grabs me by the throat, glowering menacingly. She looks to be in her early teens, but her strength is incredible. I can't get a peep out while trapped in her iron grip. You got some stones over here jumping us on our home turf. Who are you spying for, huh? Huh? Calm down, rowdy detective. To hell with that. This jamoke might have offed some of our own. Plus, he won't even give us an answer. I ain't gonna just let that slide. It's a terrible voice, terrible accent, terrible everything. I'm so sorry. Well, he can't talk if you're actively choking him, now can he? Huh? Crap, you got a point. Techie detective. Sorry, intruder, my bad, 100%. The girl in the sports jacket let me go and then immediately falls to her knees, touching her head to the floor as she apologizes. Yep, that's normal. It's okay. You don't need to grovel about it. I'm still in the dark here, but I get that you have every reason to suspect me. That checks out, but it doesn't make us right. One bad turn deserves another. So come on, hit me. No way I'm gonna do that. Besides, I can't. I'm all tied up. So please stop bowing. I have literally no idea what's happening. Who are all of you? What is this island? What's going on around here? As I ask the so-called rowdy detective my questions, the boy in the wheelchair approaches us. I take it you aren't here of your own volition? You say you weren't informed on this situation, right? Yeah, all I know is that senior detective brought me here. Senior detective? The boy called Techie Detective cups his chin in thought. Fascinating. I checked your eyes to verify you were unconscious. We'll just assume it wasn't a self-induced ruse for now, but Senior Detective bringing you to HQ? That doesn't sit well with me. Where do you fit in with the rest of us? What do you have to do with the Quartering Duke investigation? Yo, Earth to Techie Detective? Alright, guys and gals. I think we're going to break off the episodic episode right here, because this has been a lot. I was hoping maybe we get to like a natural saving point or stopping point, and we'd break off the episode, but we've already gone on for over 40 minutes. A lot of storyline, a lot of setting up what's going on, a lot of creepy stuff, and that's fine, but we're going to break it off here, and we're going to continue from this point in our very next episode. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by. A big shout out and a thank you to NIS America once again for sending the code my way. Can't wait to get into the meat of the game and start playing around and seeing what we're doing. But for now, I'm enjoying the tale and the story thus far. And I hope you guys are as well. If you guys want more information about the game, where to get the game, information on the developer, publisher, any of that stuff, all down below in the description of the video will be a bunch of links that will point you into the various directions. That'll get you all those things. And until the very next episode, I have been your host, Bumpy McSquigums. Thank you so much for stopping by the Freak Show. We play, we fight, we conquer.